Ayo, what's happening? What's good? What's going on? Rashid K back at it with another episode. Word of mouth. The Beast Ran God, the HNIC head nigga in charge.
It's the H to the N-I to the, you already see what time it is. It's the H to the N-I to the, see my niggas dying to live. It's the H to the N-I to the, see me, I'm the big dog. It's the H to the N-I to the, synonymous to hip hop. Hip hop, hip hop, hip hop.
You already know, yeah, man. Shout out for tapping in. Man. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep it moving. Today's episode, it's a very dope one. I like it because we're gonna look at who's been running the game since between 2013 and 2023. Which rappers were running the game. So we're gonna look at that. We're gonna try to reason with facts and everything. Of course, you're free to disagree, but everything I base everything on research and facts. It's not who my favorites are. It's not about my favorites. It's about the actual facts. 2013, who had the game on lock? 2013, to me, the whole SA hip-hop game belonged to Kulichana. Kulichana had Lost in Time, which dropped in 2012 but had a run in 2013. Lost in Time was untouchable. Like, it had hits for days, like Twada, Natuba Wena, So You Wanna Be Motswako. Like, it had hits for days. That album did amazing things, man. Won awards, sold, achieved like a lot of accolades. So 2013 belonged to Kulichana, unless you have someone else to bring forth and bring the argument. 2013 belonged to Kulichana. And then we moved to 2014. 2014 was KO's year with Skanda Republic. Skanda Republic also, that's one classic album, No Skip, Kara Kara, Skanda Love, all the hits. It also did the same thing. It won awards, it broke records. First SA hip-hop song to reach 1 million views on YouTube. So 2014 belonged to KO. I know Casper dropped the same year, but Casper is up next because he owned 2015. 2015 belonged to Casper Nyovest. That's why he had Doc Shebeleza, he had all these hits. That's why he was confident enough to fill up the dome. Something that has never been done before, Remember, Jay-Z was at the dome with 10,000 people. The tickets were limited to 10,000. And Casper went on to say, I'm gonna make it 20,000, I'm gonna fill it up. There was a lot of skeptics, but he made it happen in 2015. Casper Nyovest owned 2015, no arguments about it. 2015 belonged to Casper. Alright? And then we moved to 2016. 2016, me personally, I give it to MT. Avery dropped. It was a big album. With Roll Up, with Pearl 2C, with We Up, it was another classic album that had hits for days. MT owned 2016. I know there was like a lot of competition, a lot of other great albums and great artists that came out, but 2016 belonged to MT. Let's move to 2017. 2017 was owned by Questa. Questa owned 2017, you know. Even though Ngudu dropped in 2016, but by 2017 he had Ngudu, he had Nyazfela Ngawe, he had Spirit, he had Vurva, like he had all the hits, you know. He owned, Questa owned 2017, man, and even made an appearance on Sway in the Morning. You know, that was Questa's year, and he's got accolades to prove it. He took awards at the Summers, he took awards at the Sahas, you know, the Metros, this and that. So he was pulling the industry, you know. The K1 God owned 2017. Then 2018 belonged to Nasty C, man. I can't think of anyone else who owned 2018 other than Nasty C. You know, he was consistent. He came out in 2016, he was consistent. 2017, by 2018 he was like, yeah, I'm here to stay. You know, he had bad hair extensions, and he also went to Sway in the Morning and represented, and he did a lot of like these international freestyles, radio appearances, and he was killing it everywhere. You know, Nasty C owned 2018. You know, can't tell me nothing. You know, 2019 belonged to Youngster CPT. That's when 3T came out. Things take time. He made his presence felt. He had been around, but when he dropped 3T, that was a big album. I think that's the biggest album of his career. 3T, beautiful album, man. He even won the awards. I remember him having a tour in Cape Town with the award. You know, that was a beautiful moment to witness. 2019 belonged to Youngster CPT. 2020, COVID days. 2020 was definitely owned by Big Zulu. You know, he laid a foundation with Amamillion, Vumadlozi. When Malening dropped, it was over. You know, nobody could touch Big Zulu in 2020 because he had those hits. You know, like Malening was an undeniable hit that owned 2020 across all genres, not just hip hop. So 2020 belonged to Big Zulu. 2021, we're still under COVID, man. We're still wearing masks and shit, you know, sanitizing hands and shit, you know. 2021, Blakey blew up and he like saved hip hop because Amapiano took over during COVID. You know, it was Amapiano everywhere. You know, they had those lockdown sessions on Channel O. But Blakey blew up with yeah, you know, and he dropped that album and hip hop was saved. Blakey saved SA hip hop in 2021. You know, that album was big. That song was big. 2021 belonged to Blakey. 2022, there was another bully in the building, you know, murdering all the features, you know. That's Maclera Dope Boy. Maclera Dope Boy definitely owned 2022. That was his year. Maclera, even though he dropped an album, but he was more impactful with the features. You know, every feature that he handled was a murder scene. you know. Yeah, he dropped an album. Which was dope, but he owned the year via the features. The features were like undeniable, irresistible. Shout out to Maglera, Mfana Oko Maglera, Northwest side. Okay, 2023. 2023 was bittersweet because AKA had the album of the year with Mass Country, you know, and he had songs, Company, you know. That album was dope, man. It's a pity that, and it's so sad that we lost him, I think a week or two before the album dropped. You know, when the album dropped, he was already gone, man. May he forever rest in peace, you know. But the album did as expected, you know. It did the numbers, it did the sales, it even won awards afterwards, you know. So 2023 really belonged to Super Mega, you know what I mean? So that's like a decade of SA hip hop between 2013 and 2023. And yeah, if you think I made a mistake, you think, nah, Rashid so and so owned that year, hit me up, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not imposing my opinion on anyone, but I'm just trying to reason factually to say because of this and that. It's not about who my favorite artist is. I don't work like that. But yeah. This like took about 10 years so it will take another 10 years to come up with such an episode. Probably, God willing, inshallah, 2033 will look back to another 10 years of SA hip hop, you know, and see who owned which year, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's how we document SA hip hop. That's how we tell our stories, you know, word of mouth, anything goes. Rashid K, peace.
It's the H to the N-I to the, you already see what time it is. It's the H to the N-I to the, see my niggas dying to live. It's the H to the N-I to the, see me, I'm the big dog. It's the H to the N-I to the, synonymous to hip hop.